Today we're going to be reading this newsela article. The title is Helmets Aren't Enough, Majority of NFL Players Suffer from Brain Disease by PBS NewsHour, adapted by Newsela, staff on 8/7/17, word count 734, Lexile level 1200. Under the picture, the caption reads, Baltimore Ravens tight end Todd Heap left takes a hit from New England safety Brandon Merriweather during an NFL football game in 2010, photo from AP. Weeks before football season begins, new research reminds us of the physical costs of America's most popular sport. A just published study of 111 former NFL players found that all but one had degenerative brain disease known as chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CTE. The injuries leading to this disease may have started early in the players' careers, the study suggests. This is the largest study to date on CTE, study co-author Michael Alasko said. It provides a rich source of data on what CTE looks like in the brain and how the symptoms play out over the course of years. CTE is a disease that occurs in people who have endured repeated brain injury, generally caused by blows to the head. CTE affects one's behavior, memory, and mood, and can also cause dementia, the report stated. Almost all NFL players had CTE. Alasko and his team studied the brains of 202 deceased football players. The players came from all levels of the game, including those who played football before high school, in high school, semi-professionally, in the Canadian Football League, and in the NFL. All the players had donated their brains for research. Overall, 87% of the 177 players had CTE. However, the rate was significantly higher, 99%, in former NFL players. On average, participants with mild signs of CTE had played for 13 years, while subjects with severe CTE had careers lasting 15.8 years. Caitlin Murphy, a spokeswoman for the NFL Players Association, said the union has been closely following scientific studies linking CTE to football and has been pushing for safety changes in the NFL, some of which have been instituted. The union will continue to fight for additional changes in the future, she said. Last year, Jeff Miller, the NFL's executive vice president of health and safety, admitted that a connection existed between football and brain damage. His admission was a response to a Boston University study that found CTE in 90 of 94 former NFL players. NFL skirts the issue. However, in response to the latest study, the NFL stated there are still many unanswered questions relating to the cause, incidence, and prevalence of long-term effects of head trauma such as CTE. The latest study suggests that the longer one plays football, the more likely it is that CTE will develop. Only 3 out of 14 high school players were found to have CTE, and in all 3 cases, it was a milder form of the disease. By contrast, severe CTE was found in the majority of former college players, 91%, semi-professional players, 64%, and professional players, 99%. Out of the 27 former players with mild CTE, 96% had behavioral or mood symptoms while they were alive. That rate was similar for the 84 participants with severe CTE. Of those, 89% had behavioral or mood symptoms, 95% showed a decline in cognitive ability, and 85% had signs of dementia. Annie McDowell is the executive director of the Brain Injury Association of Virginia. Brain injuries, she says, can lead to mental conditions like bipolar disorder, Alzheimer's disease, and dementia. Links to dementia and suicide. Damage to the brain, even a mild injury, can lower a person's life expectancy and increase their risk of dementia and Alzheimer's disease, McDonald said. Suicide was the most common cause of death for those with mild CTE. By contrast, those with severe CTE typically passed away due to complications of neurodegenerative disease such as dementia or Parkinson's disease. Former Pittsburgh Steeler Terry Long, former Chicago Bears defensive back David Jurison, and Adrian Robinson, who played for several NFL teams throughout his career, are all examples of players whose suicides have been linked to brain disease. Dr. Gregory Oshanek is the director of the Center for Neurorehabilitation Services in Virginia. He said he isn't sure if the NFL will make any meaningful changes in response to the information provided by the new study. However, he added, the study does suggest an approach to minimizing the long-term consequences of head injuries, including concussions. You have nearly 100% evidence of abnormality in these players, Oshanek said. Speaking of those who had played for the NFL, what deserves more scrutiny, he said, is the one individual who's had no evidence of CTE. That's the person that needs to be focused on to see what can be duplicated to hopefully protect others.